Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. What an absolute disgrace of a result yesterday. You know what? For me, this manager. I mean, people are going to keep saying about injuries. People are going to keep, trying to defend certain players and defend this manager. This manager is a disgrace, and for me, having watched the whole of the season, this is all on the manager. Yeah, injuries. There's no recognized first team centre back playing. But to be honest with you, this manager deserves everything he gets. He is an absolute disgrace. This manager. I mean, to start off with, yeah, this manager is playing the likes of Hoyland, Garnacho. You've got Ahmad on the bench, and you know what? I'm glad at the moment. Ahmad. In fact, I'm actually glad Ahmad's not part of the shambles because the manager has decided to play certain players, and these certain players he keeps playing are just simply not good enough. I don't want to keep hearing about injuries and stuff like that because every team gets injuries. Yeah, there's no centre backs, but the way the team is set up is just an absolute joke. Yeah, you've got Kobbie Mainoo, yeah, who's an 18-year-old, and Kobbie Mainoo now you can see is starting to become a scapegoat because at the end of the day, yeah, he's been put into a team where there's no structure, and it's like he's the one that's running the midfield at a young age of 18. It's a disgrace. He should have someone next to him nurturing him. But because of the state the team is in, Kobbie Mainoo is, he's getting left hung out to dry, really. Let's be honest, because now you're starting to see performances from Kobbie Mainoo where he looks drained, he looks tired. And that's because the whole structure of the team is all wrong. You're playing a midfield of Eriksen, Kobbie Mainoo, and Mason Mount. Yeah. Why Mason Mount was bought in the first place makes no sense. It's a disgrace of an acquisition. Yeah. Christian Eriksen is playing as a deep line midfielder, hasn't got the legs in there. And then it leaves Kobbie to be more or less the midfield general in there at the age of 18. And he's still learning the game. It's an absolute disgrace, and the manager is totally at fault here. He needs to be sacked today. I mean, if Ineos got anything about them, don't even worry about the FA Cup final against Man City because they're going to get beat anyway. Yeah. You got Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton, end of the season fixtures. I can see Man United picking up 1 point from them 3 games, and I'm hoping it's against Arsenal come Sunday. But in terms of this team, you can see this team's checked out. Casemiro is checked out. People are going to start blaming Casemiro, yeah. But at the end of the day, this is a guy that is a winner, and he checked out time ago because he can see what a shambles and what a shambles of a club this is. And this manager, he can just tell this manager doesn't know what he's doing, and he's checked out. I don't believe Casemiro's finished. I believe that Casemiro is another player that's been left hung out to dry, playing with these players. It's an absolute disgrace. But that midfield is nowhere near strong enough. It's nowhere near durable. You know what I mean? Kobbie Mainoo is the shining light, and as I say, he should be someone that is not playing every game, coming on. You know what I mean? Starting a few games, but the manager has decided to have this squad. And I'm going to talk about this front three. This front three is possibly the worst front three I've ever seen. Rasmus Højlund. Yeah, Rasmus Højlund is absolute shit. Like, I can't believe, yeah, the protection this guy gets. And I mentioned before, Nicholas Jackson, yeah? Nicholas Jackson is not the greatest striker, yeah? But what Nicholas Jackson has is the fundamentals. He can hold the ball up, he can link play, and he can at least be a target man for the team in terms of, being trustworthy to play the ball into him and he can hold it up. Yeah. Rasmus Højlund spends most of his time on his ass on the floor. Yeah. He's an absolute disgrace, Rasmus Højlund. 72 million. Yeah. He's 21 and he is absolute rubbish. I'm telling you. And it's a failing, another failing on the manager, because as I said to you before, yeah, Anthony Martial, yeah, is criticized heavily by this fan base. Yeah. Rasmus Højlund is he's nowhere near a level of a player that Martial is, you know, and the amount of excuses and leeway this guy gets tells me there's something more sinister. And to be honest with you, we all know what it is. It's this. It's that. We all know what it is. Let's stop beating around the bush, yeah, and just call it what it is. He gets protection, not because of his age. It's because of this, yeah. I've been calling this nonsense out for time, yeah. It's the same reason Fred, Eric Bailly, Paul Pogba, Jadon Sancho, it's the same reason these guys get ridiculed by this fan base. Yeah. It's nothing to do with football inability. It's to do with this. Yeah. And until people wake up and realize, yeah, that there is something sinister within this fan base, this club is never going to move on. You know, having to talk about this is ridiculous, really. You know, Marcus Rashford's a different case because, as I mentioned before, Marcus Rashford's from Manchester, so he gets the leeway. And he's English as well, yeah? But the fact that Martial gets criticised because of what? The only thing criticised Martial on is his injury record, yeah? But what Rasmus is giving to the team, he gives the team absolutely nothing. And yet the criticism isn't leveled out in comparison to when Martial's playing, who got no service. But at least with Martial, he can hold the ball. At least with Martial, you know, he can score a goal. You know what I mean? He had everything, Martial, just the injuries that have killed him. You know, this Højlund has absolutely nothing. Nothing. He's got pace, but the pace is very rarely seen because he's not a smart footballer. He wants to spend his time backing into defenders, trying to be a target man, you know? And invariably, he just gets dashed on the floor. It's embarrassing. And then as for Garnacho on the left-hand side, he's another one. He is terrible. All he does, yeah, is run into traffic, and then if he can't go nowhere, he lays it off. He's got not one bit of creativity in his bones. That's this guy. And the fact that this club and his fan base, yeah, keeps saying about these two players' age, yeah, no one cares about the age. Let's just call it what it is. They're not good enough. You know what I mean? And any new manager coming in needs to bin these two guys straight away, along with Bruno Fernandes. I'm seeing people, yeah, online, yeah, because Bruno didn't play, they're now starting to say, oh, you see, Bruno didn't play and you can see how much we miss him. No, Bruno has been the problem. He's one of the main problems. Just because he didn't play yesterday, doesn't mean that all of a sudden now Bruno's a savior. Bruno's also not good enough. He needs to be moved on. Bruno, Rashford, Højlund, Garnacho, yeah? These four players are the biggest problem in the team currently. McTominay, another one. Luke Shaw, another one. Yeah? They are protected by this fan base, yeah, for sinister reasons. Yeah? They're not good enough. Man United shouldn't be about this. It should just be the best players should be playing. Yeah? The team has gone from, yeah, playing good football players to playing players that run. It's a failure on the manager. Yeah? Because how Garnacho and Højlund keep playing every game, and yeah, people will say, but there's no other option. Amad Diallo is on the bench weekly for Garnacho. People will say for Anthony, but no, it's for Garnacho as well. Yeah, Rasmus Højlund plays every game almost. Comes off. He's crap. Let's just call it what it is. And these guys keep on playing. Like, it's a disgrace. Watching this team is painful. 4-0. against Crystal Palace, you know. And I did say on my preview, Michael Olise, Eberechi Eze. These two guys, yeah, are Champions League players. Yeah. These two players are two of the best players in the league. Yeah. Man United need to go and get these two players in the summer. They will transform the front line. Eze in the 10 or playing from the left, Olise on the right to go with Ahmad. You know, Anthony's another one. Yeah. Anthony, I think, in my opinion, will do better in a possession-based team. But Anthony is not good enough also. You know, I think he under a new manager, he can play his part, but there's no way this guy should be starting week in, week out. He's shown under 2 years that he hasn't got what it takes. Pure and simple. Ahmad hasn't been given a chance. Go and get Olise in the summer. Olise and Eze showed the levels. You had Olise on the right, he showed the levels compared to an Anthony. Eze on the left, he showed the levels compared to Garnacho. And then Mateta, who I don't even want to sign, showed levels compared to Højlund. You know what I mean? But a lot of these things are not really a surprise, because if you actually watch the game, you will see that certain players just haven't got it. You know, it's nothing to do with no defenders at the back and certain players are not playing. These players that they keep playing, especially in attacking positions, are simply not good enough. Yeah. And I just can't wait till this manager's gone. This manager's been sacked anyway. He's been sacked ages ago. You know, there's no way a new regime comes in and keeps this guy. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? You change everything upstairs, but yet you want to keep this guy. That ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? He needs to go ASAP. ASAP. Man United have lost, I believe, 13 games in the league. Yeah? I'm hoping it's not 14 against Arsenal, because if that's the case, then we're going to see Arsenal, you know, be on course to try and win the league. Even though Man City, for me, are going to do it because they got Fulham on Saturday and that'll put the pressure on. But this team's checked out. Casemiro's checked out, as I said. You know, what a disgrace of a performance. And yeah, the manager should hang his head in shame. You know, the gap between the midfield and the attack is a joke. And then the gap between the defense and the midfield is a joke. You know, yeah, it's just a joke, man. Really, just watching this team. Yeah, 4-0 against Palace. You know, yeah. I just want this season to end as quick as possible, and then we can just move on and go in a new direction, and then get rid of a lot of these players. You know what I mean? We're gonna start with the player performances. Andre Onana. You know what? I've seen people blaming Onana, which is typical. You know, this is what I'm trying to say to you. There's something sinister going on within this fan base, which has been going on for a while, which I've been aware of. It's open season now on Onana. Yes, he could have done better for some of the saves. But this is a guy that was keeping United in the game, because some of the saves he made, the game could have ended 5-6-0. But people forget this. You know what I mean? But because the team lost and they're trying to look for a scapegoat, they're just going to blame the same old players. You know, for me, Onana obviously wasn't one of his better games. To concede 4 goals as well for any keeper is going to be a bad day at the office. As I said, he made a couple of saves and kept United relatively in the game at times, even though they weren't really in the game, funny enough. But the criticism he's going to get now is to be expected. This is what this fan base does. You know what I mean? The scapegoat is usually one of these. You know what I mean? Let's just call it what it is. I'm sick and tired of just beating around the bush, and we need to just say what the actual issue is. You know, and until this nonsense is eradicated from the club. I mean, there was something to do with a journalist called Samuel Luckhurst that I read today on Twitter, mentioning Martial's name. So Martial not playing and other players are out injured, and you choose to mention Martial. Tell me there isn't something sinister going on at this football club. Just tell me, because it's been going on for ages, and people need to wake up to what is actually going on. Why are Martial's getting brought up when he didn't even play by this journalist? Work it out why he's doing that. Luke Shaw's been out injured more than Martial, and Luke Shaw's been here a year longer than Martial. Why are you not talking about Luke Shaw? Marcus Rashford is out injured, but you go on to Anthony Martial. You know what I mean? Harry Maguire's injured. Just people work it out. This is an absolute joke, this club. But yeah, Onana's going to get the criticism, which is to be expected. 4 goals conceded, bad at the office, but not really the reason to be blamed for, in my opinion. Dalot at right back. Dalot's had a very good season. Seems to be getting. He seems to be declining at the moment. I don't know if it's fatigue. Obviously, the team's broken as well. He didn't really have a great game, to be fair. Dalot. Eze was causing him a lot of problems on that left. Dalot will be a next season, and I do believe Dalot will get back to the levels he was showing in the middle part of the season. But not a great game. Casemiro at the back. I'm not going to spend too much time on Casemiro. Casemiro's checked out. I said this a few weeks ago. He don't want to be at the club. The club have disrespected him. And I'll tell you why the club disrespected him is because, for me, the armband. Yeah, I said this earlier on in the season. When Ten Hag made Bruno the captain, who's won nothing in his career, Casemiro is a World Cup, is a Champions League, multiple-time Champions League winner. Either him or Varane should be made club captain. Yeah, and the fact that the team is playing the way it does, Casemiro is checked out. You can just tell. I can't really blame him. This guy is used to being at a club of excellence, and now he's playing at a club where it's a shambles on the pitch, it's a shambles off the pitch. Yeah, and as I said, hopefully Ineos can rectify this, because this can't go on no longer. And and Casemiro, it looks like he's going to be moved. They're going to move him on. As I said in my piece before, I want him to stay, but who knows what's going to happen. But one thing's for certain, he doesn't want to be playing. He don't want to be here. It's obvious, and I can't really blame him, to be honest with you. Johnny Evans, apparently he failed a fitness test before the game and played. To be honest with you, Johnny Evans is a full 5th choice centre back. When he comes in, he does well. Obviously, yesterday's game, wasn't a great game. Obviously, part of a defense that conceded 4 goals. But Johnny Evans, obviously, he's coming in because obviously there's no defenders, and he's just trying to do a job at the end of the day. But not really a great game. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, another player, in my opinion, that is disillusioned. Why he keeps playing left back? I know Elise wants to cut in, but why he keeps being playing left back when Dalot's actually played left back? Again, this manager is an idiot. Let's be honest. He's an absolute idiot. Dalot has played left back before. Just play Wan-Bissaka on his favoured. Dalot is a better footballer than Wan-Bissaka, but yet you're playing Wan-Bissaka left back when Dalot's more comfortable on the ball. Just play him out of position rather than Wan-Bissaka, because at least Dalot is competent on the ball. That's just common sense. But Wan-Bissaka, as I said to you, I would move him on in the summer. Not good enough, especially on the ball. But another player that is disillusioned, and as I say, it's all about just getting to the end of the season now. They move on to midfield. Kobbie Mainoo, as I said to you before, it's only a matter of time until people start criticizing Kobbie Mainoo, because, as I said before, this is what this fan base does. They look for scapegoats. And Kobbie Mainoo now is being, because he's playing week in, week out, he's not being found out, but he's not showing the performances that he had when he first came into the team, because the team is giving him nothing. That's the main of it. The team's giving him nothing, and he's having to do a lot of the stuff by himself. Obviously, we know Kobbie's his quality on the ball is never in question, but I see a lot of Kobbie having to run back and chase the midfielders, and he looks like that he's struggling a bit. It looks like he hasn't got the power to keep up. That's a failing on the system, yeah, because if the manager puts in a system, yeah, that hides the deficiencies of Kobbie Mainoo like that, you won't see Kobbie having to keep running back and looking like he hasn't got the power to get back at the midfielders, you know. Christian Eriksen, for me, Eriksen's a technician, but Eriksen's legs have gone. You can tell, you know. Why Eriksen, since he's been at this club, has never played in a number 10 is a mystery, you know. And again, that's a failing on the manager, you know. Eriksen should have always played in number 10 ahead of Bruno. But for some reason, this manager has decided to play him as a deep line midfielder next to someone like a Kobbie. And Kobbie, as I say, is still learning his way in the game, you know. Eriksen's passing today wasn't the greatest. He is usually composed on the ball. But as I said, this midfield's broken. And it's a case where just get to the end of the season, I expect to see Eriksen moved on. And it's been a failed experiment, let's be honest. I think when Eriksen first came in, he looked good, you know what I mean? But I think since that injury he picked up, hasn't been the same player. And why he hasn't been playing in a number 10 position, as I said, again, it's a failing on the manager, you know? Mason Mount, this manager should be sacked for this decision alone. He spent 50 million to go and get this player, yeah? Is Mason Mount even better than McTominay? Let's be honest. Is he better than McTominay? I think you trust Mason Mount to keep the ball more than McTominay. But realistically, is he better than McTominay? Like, these are the kind of conversations we're having now. Is he better than McTominay? Why? And and to make matters worse, yeah, this manager gave Mason Mount the number 7 position, the number 7 shirt, and he's on 250 a week. I mean, this club's a joke. I mean, is this manager taking the piss really by doing that? You know, Mason Mount, yeah. I mean, the funny thing is he's going to be here next season. This is what I don't understand, you know. And it's like, you don't start this guy. You don't start this guy. He ain't good enough. And yet we're thinking he's going to be he's going to be here next season because he's on 250. He costs 50 mil, which is going to rise, I think, to 55. I mean, this club's a shambles, you know. And to be honest with you, Ineos have got a big job to do, because how it wasn't Ineos, but how this manager was allowed to sign Mason Mount for that amount of money, and really realistically, he doesn't even get in the team. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, it's a joke. Front three, Antony. As I said before, there's no point going on Antony because Antony ain't good enough. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not his fault that he cost 80 mil, but he ain't good enough as at Man United. Let's be honest. You know, it's not entirely his fault, but yeah, he just needs to. It's going to be hard to shift him on as well. He's on 200 grand a week, and whether Man United loan him or the new manager has plans for him, only God knows. But yeah, he flatters to deceive a lot of the time, Antony. Funny enough, he's the best out of a bad bunch from the starting three, and that just tells you how bad Man United are. Garnacho, I keep saying this, yeah. Until this manager, a new manager, ignores a lot of this fan base and removes this guy from the lineup, United ain't doing anything. People are trying to convince us that this guy is good. I'll tell you this now, yeah, I've watched football my whole life. I've played in academies. This guy is not good enough. How the hell this guy is playing first team football and he's getting the amount of appearances that he has at Manchester United, and people seem to think that this guy, let's not do this. Don't care about his age, but the very fact that this guy is playing regularly on that left-hand side, yeah, is a disgrace to football. He offers nothing. Sorry, I lied. He offers intent. You can go and get the person, my neighbor, to go and offer intent. He is shit. He's crap. Like, and the fact that this guy starts every game and you've got Ahmad on the bench, who's a technician, who's a footballer, shows you football's in the wrong place. You know, the next manager that comes in needs to remove this guy from the pitch. Yeah, he needs to be either a bench option or put him on loan. Put him on loan like United did with Ahmad. Put him on loan. Yeah? You think Garnacho will go and do what Ahmad done in the Championship for Sunderland? He ain't doing that. But yet, people seem to think that this guy can be starting week in, week out for Man United. Alejandro Garnacho. He's crap. Like, get the guy out of the team. Yeah? There is no way this guy should be starting week in, week out for Man United. Man United have had players like Nani. Nani was ridiculed because the level of when Nani was there was high. This guy's nowhere near Nani. Nowhere near Nani. I'd argue is Garnacho even better than Bebe? Is he better than David Bellion? And these guys were crap. But yet this guy is playing week in, week out on the left-hand side at Man United. You know what I mean? He's got Nani's shirt. It's a disgrace. No one cares about his age. He's 19. So what? So what? You're rubbish. Like, he's terrible. He's terrible. Like, the fact that he starts every game and people try to look at him as the go-to guy, you know what I mean? It just shows you that these people don't know nothing about football. Let's be honest. And this is what social media has become, unfortunately. People that have even not played the game, yeah, have no experience in the game, trying to tell certain people about certain players. You can just see with your own eyes that these players ain't good enough, you know? And as I said, this guy, if there's no way he can be starting next season, he's going to be a next season, unfortunately, but he needs to be a bench option, you know, coming on fresh legs, last 15 minutes. Simple. No way this guy should be starting week in, week out. It's a disgrace. And as for Rasmus Højlund, yeah, I'll tell you now, if I'm Ineos, I'm cutting my losses and getting this guy at the club. 21 years of age, yeah. He's not better than Nicholas Jackson. He's not. Let's just keep it real. He's not. You know? He's not better than Igalo when Igalo was there. He's not. He's crap. He offers nothing. He offers nothing. Yeah, he runs around. He sweats a lot. But he, on a technical level, he's shit. And he's playing up front for Man United. And some of these fans seem to think that this guy is the second coming of Erling Haaland. Like, he's crap. You know what I mean? He's rubbish. Like, it's just painful, man. It's just painful. And I said to you, it's on the manager. The manager has chosen to play certain players week in, week out. And now reality comes down to bite United back in the bum, because when United were nicking games, a lot of these idiots on social media were trying to, you know, trying to back the manager. They were trying to back certain players. And it's funny how things work out, you know. That's why you should always be humble and just, you know, watch the game properly and realize that, you know, there's always a result around the corner that's gonna make certain people look very, very, very silly. And look at this now, 4-0 against Palace. You know, you've got Elisa and Eze on the other team. Joachim Anderson, top defender, dominated Højlund as well. Look at the Adam Wharton they bought from Blackburn. I have him in that midfield now. And he only come in January. The guy's a top player. Look at that. But you've got Eze and Elise showing up players that this fan base think are good. It's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And as I said, the quicker this manager gets sacked, the better. Quicker that a lot of these players are moved on. And I'm going to say this again. Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund. Yeah? I'm not going to include McTominay because he'll find his way out anyway. But this fan base have made Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund, and Bruno. They're looking at these four as the best, as the key players. Until a manager comes in and removes all four of them from the lineup, expect United to continue struggling. Because these four, as a collective, are not good enough. You know what I mean? They're not good enough. They will struggle to get into any top team if a top team's serious. That's it. So until a manager comes in and removes these four, especially from the lineup, yeah, make them bench options or make them or force them to get out the club, Man United ain't doing anything. You've heard it here first. I promise you that now. They are not doing anything until these four players are gone. They are four of the main players that need to be removed from the lineup from the team. You know, Ineos need to be looking at this and saying, you know what, these four, we're not going to be banking on these four. Let's move them on, or let's move them out the club, or move them out the club. You know what I mean? If we're being realistic, only one or two of them can be bench players. And when I mean bench players, they're playing FA Cups, Carabao Cups, coming on, not starting league games or Champions League games if Man United ever get back into it. You know, until those four are removed, the show is going to continue, you know, because they're not good enough. But as I said, a shocking performance. But I'm hoping Sunday is the game I'm looking forward to now. The FA Cup final, for me, City are going to win that. So there's no even point looking forward to that. But Sunday, for me, is the game against Arsenal. United have to at least get a point from this game. The historic rivalry between United and Arsenal, United cannot allow Arsenal to come to Old Trafford and pick up 3 points. They have to get a draw at least. You know? So that's it from me. Hope you guys like the stream. You know, don't forget to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. Ridiculous performance, ridiculous result. And thank God that the season is coming to an end very, very soon. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to rank 4 the best strikers of the generation. As I said, I've not included Sergio Aguero into it. As I said, because he's out of all 4 of them, he's not currently playing because obviously he had to retire because of the I think obviously the issues with his heart. I think it was. But it's ranking Benzema, Robert Lewandowski, Harry Kane, Luis Suarez in order, and who I would prefer in my team. 4 top strikers, 4 the best of the generation. It's going to be difficult. As I said, if you guys have got any comments to make about this stream or any comments in tomorrow's stream in your order, please feel free to drop them in. As I said, don't forget to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.